Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, we will have a collective message that posts later this evening. Definitely check that out. And if you're interested in channel memberships, that link will be in the description box below. And there are about, I want to say there's about 36 seats left available inside of that summoning that is going to be taking place. It's called the summoning. And we are evoking and invoking the energy of the god Thoth, the Egyptian god Thoth. So if you are interested in that, definitely check out the link in the description box. It will be an event over Zoom, and it will be on May 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, let's go ahead. Taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. They're going at it. There's some sort of idea or revelation that has taken place recently for somebody here, and it has to do with this Queen of Wands energy. So this may be some sort of insight or intuition that somebody has received that they have to actually move away from something. We're seeing that here with the Six of Wands. So someone here, there may be a way of life, or there may have been a place that you lived, there may have been a direction that you were taking, that there seems to be some sort of sudden understanding, insight, inspiration that this is not necessarily the place for you anymore, and that there's something that we have to move away from. So, okay. For some of you, this is going to be your work. Eight of Pentacles had been on the bottom, and as I said, that Ace of Pentacles flipped out. For some of you, this is going to be different areas of your stability. You may feel conflicted right now, because that's like what they're doing down here is they're fighting. And the conflict is actually a way for you to become stronger. They're play fighting, that's why I'm saying that. Made me come into like that Five of Wands energy. What we have here is we have Queen of Cups. For others of you, this is going to be in terms of your love life, who you pour your loving emotion into, who you pour that sort of love and nurturing care into. Let's see. There's a lot of changes. Very interesting. Lots of changes. But notice that the Tower, even though that lightning bolt is hitting it, all these Hebrew letter Yuds are falling from the sky. They're falling up and they're falling down. And so it's the energy of something being recycled. There's something here that's being recycled. I'm being drawn to the word cycle within that. And also with, I hadn't looked down yet, with the Judgment card, which can be the cycle of life and death. This is a cycle. There's something that is wrapping up for somebody. And this may be for some of you where you invest your passions with the Queen of Wands. It may be about the end of a cycle in terms of how you wielded your own willpower, what direction you forced yourself to go. There's some sort of new adventure, in other words. There's some sort of new adventure. I'm being drawn to put him next to the Queen of Cups. So for many of you, it's a new adventure in love. In your heart space, what you invest in, where you place your passions. Okay. Again, that's being reiterated here by the Three of Wands. This is the explorer waiting to be taken by a ship to the new shore. In the Two of Wands, he's standing out over a castle, ramparts, and he is ramparts, battlement, I don't know, a wall, a wall, if you will. And he has a globe in his hands, and he's looking out across the land, looking for the new land to conquer, right? Where will I go across this ocean to conquer? And this is where he's on the shore waiting for that for the ship that will take him there. And so there is something about a new exploration, a new travel, a new journey. For some of you, this is literal. Where will I go next? But this is some kind of new phase inside of our life. Again, the ending of an old one. here, the rising of a new one here, and there is a bit of advice that's coming in with this as well. When I get the High Priestess, she's generally advice. Sometimes she can represent somebody who's trusting their intuition, and some of you may be. You may be in this energy right now where you're receiving the information about where you feel that you should go next, or for some of you, you're looking at your guides or your guidance and you're asking, where should I go next? And you're receiving that information and you're trusting it. For others of you, however, this is about stepping back and allowing yourself to have the space to understand where you're going, to understand what it is that's actually inside of you that you want to manifest for yourself. Do you feel that I'm supposed to put her at the top here? Okay. Okay. There is some sense of this Five of Cups energy wrapped up in this cycle that's ending. So this Five of Cups energy could, for example, be feeling like something didn't work out, right? Like there was a phase in your life that you invested in that you didn't necessarily feel worked out for you, or there's some sadness or some grief in letting this thing go. Sorry, puppy distractions. And inside of this energy, though, there is 3 cups down here that are spilled. 2 are from a red and 1 has green liquid. So there's some sort of root and heart matter. So for this particular root, it could be something with family. It could be something with something that we like built our identity on. This green here, this seems to be something that is in the heart space. So again, we have a heavy theme of love here. So I do want to say that for some of you, this is very much going to be about the way that you love, the way that you show and express love, your preferences in love, for example, or a situation that you're trying to leave behind, or a way of doing things that you're leaving behind. We have the Star. This is a sense of liberation in some way. There is some hope for the future that we may be experiencing right now. Whenever the Star comes in, though, I'm seeing this star in the background as an eighth planet, right? Because these are supposed to be the 7 planets of the ancient world, and yet the sun's also present. So there's 8 planets, and 1 is falling from that sort of ring of planets. And this really represents the idea of something falling to the earth and causing that deluge, which is why the star is pouring her water on the earth and in the ocean. And there is this idea wrapped up in this, that whatever this tower is, it's almost like something lost its gravity. Something stopped having momentum. Something cataclysmic may have happened inside of our life or inside of our mind. The old version of ourselves is passing away, and a new version is trying to emerge. And we may have some hesitation stepping into that new version, but I do think that some of you, most of you, really are ready. You're ready for that. This past seems to be represented by the devil energy. These are things that bound us. So this may have something to do with sexuality for some of you. May have to do with addictions, or some sort of toxic behaviors and patterns. Maybe even things that we felt obsessed with. So this is a very good energy to leave behind, right? And what is coming up here in the future is this Chariot. And so the Chariot really represents that balance. There's a more balanced viewpoint. There's an understanding of some sort of duality for some of you. Others of you, this is really saying that when Cancer season comes around, this is when you're going to receive whatever it is that you're striking out for. So Cancer season being that, July, right? End of June, July. And I'm feeling almost that there is an element of like this divine timing in whatever this is. And it's not that we're leaving one thing to replace it with another thing. That's not what I'm seeing here. It's that we have this last phase and then we're moving towards a new phase. And this new phase begins around that time. There may be some self-sabotage tendencies that need to be cleared up before that happens. For some of you, leaving this behind, you're going to do it quietly. You're making a very quiet exit. You're not necessarily telling anybody about it. There's also careful planning that I'm seeing. Someone wants to make sure that they carefully plan for this next phase because they don't want to play their cards wrong. Again, like I said, there's some sort of divine timing that's coming out. And this may be why the 7 of Swords is so important in that, is this careful planning and strategizing for whatever it is. Now I'm seeing that whoever this message is for, you're being symbolized by the King of Wands. So it's possible that you could be a fire sign, but you don't have to be. But this is where we are master of our will, right? So someone here is really understanding what it is that they want, what it is that they want to create for their life, and they are going to set out to do it. This is what I'm seeing here with the King of Wands. So whoever this message is for, this is awesome. This is very powerful. This is where we are not really taking a back seat in our life anymore. We're taking the driver's seat in our life. And this may be the next phase, is in fact taking that driver's seat inside of our life. For some of you, the next phase of your life is going to include heavy travel. Okay. Where am I going here? Where am I going here? Where are we going? Being told to use a deck that's not actually on my table. I don't know where it went. Okay, here we go. I'll just use this one. 3 cards. At first, it seems like we were a little hesitant to make this change. I'm saying that because, oh, that gnome showed up here. Right there. And he doesn't, you know, he looks kind of grumpy, let's be honest. Like, this is a grumpy Smurf. He seems a little, oh, shout out to Grumpy Smurf if you're watching. Code name. It's a code name for somebody. This is somebody who, you know, when we're in this energy, what we're really doing is we're not really happy about making this transition or this change. And then at some point we kind of have to accept that this is going to happen. And we're like, oh, okay. And it seems like as time went on, somebody got more and more excited about it. Like, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. And this is really the energy change that's required to have this. This is like a grand initiation, right? This is an initiation into like this big old phase that's coming into our life. It's like, this is the life before, and this is what your life's going to be now. And so there's a closing of something major out. With this 9, again, endings comes up, and the singer of initiation is always preceded by a major ending. And with this singer of initiation, there may be something very important about the moon cycles, the moon phases. This last full moon may have been important. The coming new moon may be important. And I'm saying that because of this, right? This is really striking me as those that crescent moon, Horns of Hathor sort of vibe. Hathor may even be important for somebody here because we do have a lot of cards that have implications of her. With the singer of intuition coming up next, there may be a little bit of going inside and figuring out the exact way to do something. Again, this is mirroring this energy here. And going back to that sort of Horns of Hathor. I want to talk about this card real fast. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I'm going to say something about this card, and I kind of want you to understand where I'm going with it. When you open up a book on tarot, they'll say this because of the Rider-Waite depiction of this card. And that is that the B&J stands for the Temple Gates of Solomon, right? Boaz and Joachim. And what we have here is that this is actually these 2 pillars originally, before Arthur Edward Waite slapped the B&J on them. These represented the temple gates of Atargatis. Solomon's temple was the gates, the 2 pillars anyway. They were actually modeled after other temples. And one of the earliest temples that had these types of pillars was the temple of Atargatis. And Atargatis was synonymous with Pisces. That's one reason why the high priestess is a symbol for the sign of Pisces. And inside of this temple, one of the beliefs was that how do I want to present this in the shortest amount of time possible? I'll put it this way. There's a fine balance that's taking place inside of somebody's life. We see it mirrored inside of the high priestess. One of the symbols that I can actually show really fast to explain this is that cross over the chest. All those arms are equal length, and they're sitting over the center of the energy body. And so they're centered, there's balanced. Someone here is becoming extremely centered and balanced. We have the Chariot, which requires balance for it to move forward. And in this being centered and balanced, oh, and the reason why I mentioned Pisces is because for me, Pisces is the 2 fish circling around each other. This is that center and that balance. Someone here, there is this fine balance of forces that are going on, not just within us, but also outside of us. There's something outside of us that is finely balanced with us. And we seem to be trying to intuit information about it. right? This may be something that in some ways is our exact opposite, is like a complete polar opposite to ourself. In other ways, there's something that links us, and I feel that that has something to do with the moon. This message isn't going to be for everyone, this part, but that's just very important for somebody. Also, astronomy or astrology is going to be important in that. Now, what we have here is we have Iris of the Rainbow, and I unfortunately am not supposed to show this card, but I probably will. Iris of the Rainbow and the Star card. These are very similar, and the reason why is because they both represent hope. One of the things about this hope to remember is to keep our own projections out of it, right? This is the Glockener, and the Glockener has projections that he places upon things, sometimes in the form of grandiosity, right? Trying to paint things in a much more grandiose lens in order to validate it to themselves, or in order to give it some sort of significance. Others may do this in a way where they over-spiritualize a situation, right? We see a lot of people in the spiritual community doing that with relationships. These are not necessarily healthy patterns and behaviors to engage in, because what happens is it puts us back in this energy, right? It makes us feel bound or tied to something, and we fall for some sort of illusion that we are. And what happens when we do that is we create suffocation, right? There's an energy of suffocating a situation, and especially people, right? One person feels suffocated and is always trying to like get more space, and the other person is clinging, and then the whole situation becomes toxic. What's happening here is that somebody is trying to heal this energy inside of them, whether it's in regards to a person or a job or a pathway inside their life, or, you know, the path that they're choosing to take, a new business, whatever it is. It's basically saying that we're learning with time. It seems to be that we've learned this. We're learning how to not project onto something, but to allow something to be what it is and give it the space and the room to breathe. There may even be some false fears here that need to be alleviated regarding this situation, whatever the situation winds up being in this new phase, right? Some of you may not even know what is coming in this. You just know that you're leaving something behind and you're exiting. This is all taking place around Cancer season, if you're watching this around the time that I'm posting it. G Hobya here, this is a false fear. And so what this is looking like to me is that there may be some false fears that we have in terms of what's the future going to hold, or if I come out about this thing. I don't know why that's what's coming out right now, but it is, if I come out about this thing, what will happen, right? And the essence of the thing is this, something new. Regardless of the details, it's going to be something new. And the maiden is beautiful. Whether it's exactly what we thought it was going to be, or it's exactly what we want it to be, the maiden really implies this sense of a culmination after a time of hope, right? She is the new child. She is sort of synonymous with the sun in that way. It's the rising of a new era, the rising of a new thing. And so something new is being created inside of your life by your own hands, by simply leaving this energy behind, by allowing a chapter to close and following your intuition and trusting yourself. For some of you, again, you're more into trusting your guides or gods or the angels or whatever. And by doing that and by allowing yourself to receive the information and to take your next steps, what's happening is you're actually carefully crafting space to breathe and to heal this energy inside of yourself, so that when this new thing comes, you're more equipped to be able to handle it and to handle this energy, because this energy doesn't look like something that's ever fully going to go away. It seems to be deeply ingrained inside of someone, inside of their psyche. This is Caitlin the Sylph. She represents the mind. So it's just that we are, like I said before, adopting a new way or a new pattern or a new behavior towards that thing. And this is the big transformation. It took somebody a lot of soul searching and digging inside themselves to bring this about. And for some of you, that required a huge change inside of your priorities, prioritizing yourself first and foremost for many of you. And there's been a lot of courage that has had to come about in order to change this. But this is beautiful, because this is really where we see that we're minimizing and mitigating this sort of energy. We're not allowing this sort of energy, even though it's present within all of us, to rule our life, right? To ruin our life in a lot of ways. And so this is the appropriate place for the devil energy. The appropriate place for the devil is inside the Temperance card. It's inside that Archangel Kamail, who houses Samael. this is where it belongs. And so someone here is really putting this energy exactly where it belongs, in its appropriate place within us. And that's beautiful. So whoever this message is for, I hope this resonates. If it does, please hit that like button. If you'd like to learn more about the major arcana, by the way, because I know I went on a little bit of a deep thing with a couple of the cards, channel memberships, half the major arcana has been done already. The other half will resume in the fall. And you can check out those videos in the channel memberships. I unfortunately don't have things listed in a playlist. I haven't had time to compile that playlist. But as soon as I have some time, which is one of the reasons why my comments have been off for so long, is just so that I can have some breathing space. As soon as I have a little bit of time, I will compile those playlists and make the memberships just a little bit more easier to like navigate. Yeah, so anyway, if this resonates for you, please hit that like button, and until next time.